Welcome to today's episode where we dissect the different roles and responsibilities of a front end developer versus a back end developer. Now, these episodes are designed to help any individual with zero experience in web development progress into an intermediate role. So we're going to be giving you a clear path forward as you begin your journey from a curious learner to a confident creator. What is front end development? So, front end development simply focuses on the part of a website that users see, touch, and interact with. Front end development is responsible for everything that happens in the browser, and front end development uses technology stack like HTML for structure, CSS for styling, and JavaScript for interactivity. So if you're a front end developer or if you want to focus on front end development, these are the essential markup languages slash programming languages that you need. It involves layout design, user interface, which is a UI, and user experience, which is a UX. And this simply runs directly on the web browser. So what the user can see, how they use your navigation, how they visualize all of the objects on your website is focused on front end development. Whereas back end development is server side. Back end development deals with the behind the scenes logic that powers a website. And examples include handling databases, servers, APIs, which is application interfaces, and application logic. And the programming languages used in back-end development or server-side development is PHP, Python, Node.js, and databases like MySQL where you get to store data or information in a remote server. Now, examples of a back-end development is a login page or a form submission page where users enter information and you get to process that information before rendering a response or redirecting the user to the needed page. So in this table, I have identified side by side the key difference between front end and back end programming. So front end, the main function is visuals, user interaction. That is pretty much what front end programming languages are used for to enhance engagement using visually appealing content. Back end is behind the scenes, data handling, the business logic, what happens when a user submits their sign in information, how do you query your database and make certain decisions or pull out certain information from your database using user input. And front end runs on the web browser, back end runs on your web server. The language is used is HTML, which is hypertext markup language, and CSS, cascading style sheet, JavaScript. In PHP, MySQL, Python, and Node.js are simply server-side programming languages. Front end is pretty much used to enhance user experience. So everything the user sees and they can click is done with front end programming languages. Back end is behind the scenes. So everything the user can't really see, which happens at the background, is managed or handled using server-side programming languages. Now, a simple example is say you're designing a navigation bar, and in that navigation bar, you're going to be displaying some links to different web pages on your website for users to visit. This has to do with front end programming languages. being able to style your navigation, position your navigation properly on any device. That is all front end development. And server side or back end development is handling data, querying your database to pull out information or store information, and making some server side requests. That all happens behind the scenes. So at the end of this episode, we've been able to understand that front end simply focuses on user experience and user interactivity. Back end simply powers that experience. Both the front end and the back end are essential to have a fully functional and interactive website. As a developer, you can choose to specialize in one, which is front end or back end, or you can simply learn both and become a full stack developer. That way, you can simply handle all of your front end interactivity and functionality, and at the same time, manage everything related to your back end with the server side programming languages. In our next episode, I will be focusing on full stack development, which combines both front end and back end skills. And I will highlight an example where users submit a form and the data from the form is processed and stored in your database. All right, guys, see you soon.